So President Trump's latest executive order has New York in its crosshairs, with the state expected to challenge Mr. Trump's demands over election changes. Now, the president signed this executive order, and it would do a couple of things. First, it would require voters to show proof of U.S. citizenship to register to vote. It would also require mail-in ballots be received by Election Day. Now, that second provision is the one getting the most talk here in New York, because currently in this state, you only need to postmark your ballot by the election. It can be received afterward. Now, this is certain to face court challenges. I asked GOP election law attorney Joe Burns what might come next. In terms of the biggest impact from this executive order, if in fact the Attorney General sues the state of New York and others that allow absentee ballots to be accepted after Election Day, how do you think that plays out? We really need the Supreme Court to decide this, right? Because the Fifth Circuit doesn't apply here in New York State or in other parts of the country. How quickly can this be decided by the highest court?
I think this is something that is likely to play out over the next couple of years. Certainly, in 2026, you're going to have a federal election with federal candidates on the ballot. So I think most folks, regardless of where they stand on this issue, would certainly hope that this would be decided. Again, maybe by the highest court in the land, that this would be decided in time for the 2026 general election.
What would you say to folks who, believe, as long as it complies with federal law, that elections are supposed to be left up to the states to run, right? And who argue that this is the president overstepping?
I think what you see here is not so much the president overstepping, but what you see is the president using the tools that he already has at his disposal to ensure that federal law is complied with.
Now, one reason many legal experts believe this executive order won't hold up in court is because the president has threatened to withhold federal funding from states that don't comply. And generally, states are allowed to set their own times, places, and manner for elections. Now, the chair of the Election Law Committee in the State Assembly here in New York called this executive order a, quote, blatant attempt at voter suppression that could disenfranchise millions of eligible voters. We'll keep you posted.